Chapter 8, Internal Threats and Countermeasures. Let's take a look at this week. A threat is a serious impending or recurring event, results in the loss of something. Internal theft is high. A lot of people steal stuff. It's easier than going someplace else. So it's employees, crimes, fires, accidents. Insiders are trusted employees, and they may betray. They might be they're not being paid enough. So they steal. They'll do espionage, violence, to get back at the employer. So these are some of the different things. Results from full-time, part-time, temporary employees, vendors, everything. So people walk out. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. Let's look at internal theft, right? What are we looking at? Learning objective. Understand how to choose the safe and right. Vault, discuss UL-rated combination locks, identify safe burglaries, and apply physical security as the countermeasures. So how serious is this? Why do employees steal? How do they steal? And possible indicators. All right. Let's see. Internal theft. It could be anything from embezzlement, fraud, stealing, pre-calculated, employees' theft to stealing by the employees from their employer, pilferage or stealing small quantities. Embezzlement occurs when a person takes money or property. It's been entrusted. So there's a lot of different things that can go on. Total estimate cost of employee theft varies from one source to another, but some people say as high as 30%. Even taking sick time or saying you're working from home and not doing anything. So, that's another thing. That's occupational fraud. Deliberate misuse, misapplication of employees' resources. Estimated at $2.9 trillion. So this is costly to companies. Why do they steal? Two major causes of employee theft: personal problems and the environment. Employee personal problems often affect behavior on the job: financial troubles, domestic discord, drug abuse, excessive gambling. Inappropriate to state that every employee has such problems, will steal, but during trying times, they feel it's the only way. And so up to 43% are living beyond their means, could possibly steal. Financial difficulties: a wide employers should alert troubled employees and suggest referrals. The environment also affects internal theft. Individuals' differences can result in bullying or tormenting. Managers must ensure that the corporate culture facility is respected on individuals. Political, corporate executives, some of the different things that we have to look at. Let's see what else. Motivation develops the need for money or financial debt or drug problems to win approval of others. Opportunity occurs at many unprotected locations such as loading docks, embezzlers, embarrassment or shame. These are some of the different things. Deterrence of limited costs following a crime. The certainty of both swift action by authorities and punishment often do not occur. Prevention seeks proactive security methods to reduce the probability of harmful mitigation. Motivation offenders, sustainable target. And so these are some of the different things that happen. let's see. The four groups that on four groups of people that we need to look at. The first group, employees 20 years or younger. They're new to the company. Second group, employees in their 20s of age, employed with the company for about 2 years. Third group, employees with a greater length of service and experience than the first two. And the fourth group, employees with considerably greater length of the service or are much older. Research has shown the first group is at risk because they're less likely to be deterred by disapproval of others or by losing their job. However, more of them fear being caught than slightly more experienced employers. And the first group is commits the simplest types of offenses with the lowest value. Easy opportunities, steal, grab and steal, grab and go. How do they steal from employees? They pilfer items hiding under their clothing before leaving work, put it in their lunchbox. Methods that are more sophisticated may involve careful manipulation of computerized account records, collusion among employees and outsiders. So there's a whole bunch of different things. Wearing items when they leave the workplace, smuggling out pilfering items in a lunchbox, pocketbook, or computer bundle, hiding merchandise in garbage pails and picking them up later, returning to workplace after hours and helping oneself to goods, truck drivers turning fictitious bills to employers for fuel and repair, collisions between trucks and receiving personnel, executives padding expense accounts, purchasing agents receiving kickbacks, retail employers pocketing money, padding payrolls, putting hours that you might not account, accounts payable, paying fictitious bills. Some possible indicators of theft: inventory records, inaccurate accounting records, mistakes in shipping and receiving goods, increasing amounts of raw material, merchandise missing from boxes, merchandise in inappropriate locations, security devices found to be damaged, windows and doors unlocked, employees who come in early and leave late, employees who eat lunch at their desks and refuse to take vacation, compliments by customers about not having their previous payment credited to their account, customers who absolutely have to be served by a particular employee, a supervisor after hours, cleaning crews use their own keys, and these are all possible links to internal theft. So what can management do about it to help reduce the losses? Good management team will set the foundation to make sure that people are honest and we don't make it available for them to steal. Effective planning and budgeting. Against internal theft, a thorough analysis of a problem is essential. Where are the losses, costs, what types of losses occur? Internal and external relationships. Good internal relationships can play a role in preventing employee theft. Employees respect loss prevention practitioners who are professionals. Job applicant screening is a major theft. A thorough screening is often touted as an effective strategy to prevent internal theft. Researchers by Association of Certified Fraud found that 85% of offenders had not been previously charged or convicted of a fraud offense. Accountability defines the responsibility for the description of something. For example, John Smith is responsible, held accountable. Accounting is concerned with the record sorting, summarizing, reporting data. Auditing is examination of check and balance system, uncover deviations. Policies and procedures. Control concise with accountability, accounting and auditing in each of these three functions: policies and procedures, communications to the employees, policies. What are the policies and procedures for making sure that no one steals, making sure that everyone knows the ramifications? Signs. Placing sign messages about loss prevention and training. This message must be brief and to the point and to the language. Let's all work together, reduce and save our jobs. So signs are a big part of it. Loss reporting. Numerous organizations have established loss reporting through such avenues as toll-free numbers, suggestion boxes, websites, award system, and a strategy to reinforce reporting. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 required publicly traded companies to provide systems of reporting anonymously. Penalties of noncompliance. Investigation. Employee thieves often are familiar with the ins and outs of the organization. Operation can easily conceal the theft. In addition, throughout the knowledge loss prevention program. Consequently, an undercover investigation is an effective method to outwit and expose crafty employees, thieves, and conspirators. Business subjects to theft should partner with police to make sure they know what's going on. Property loss. Remedy. Property loss within the organization, closed circuit TVs, convert radio frequency, RFID chips, are popular methods discussed in other parts of the book. We'll take a look at inventory systems. Are we tracking our inventory? Do we know what's going on? Marketing, property, tools, computers, serves. When everything is marked, identified, we know where our computers are, who has them. Insurance and bonding is primary against losses. Premiums are likely to skyrocket if they come too expensive. For this reason, insurance is best utilized as a supplement to those. Confronting employees. Never accuse anyone unless you're certain. Theft should be observed by a reliable person. Make sure you can show intent. The item is stolen. Ask the suspect to come to the office for an interview. Without accusing the employee, he should be told something disturbing has happened. Maintain accurate records. Never threaten. So these are some of the different things we want to look at. Prosecution. We should deter and make sure everyone knows this. Physical security countermeasures. Is physical security strategies. Make sure we know what's going on. An integral system to control the operation by a single operator from multiple systems. Whose perception is that? So having this on closed TV. Access control, which is a whole nother class. Controlling employee traffic, searching for employees, visitors, controlling all that. So we're going to look into all these. Let's see. Access control, regulate the people, vehicles, and who comes and goes. If a truck can enter a facility, back up to shipping, and can load variable in. How do we control who's in and out? The truck must stop at a gate, make sure that they have their proper ID, RFID. Also controlling traffic of employees. Who comes into the building? Are they here during their normal working hours? Are they coming in late? RFID cards allow us to keep all this. Are all the entrances secure? Do we know who's in the building? Do they have access? Searching for our employees. If we're hiring provider contract of employees. It's reasonable detention. Searches may be made to protect the people on the assets, locker rooms, desks. Case law permitted an employer to use duplicate keys known to the employee to enter a locker at will. Basically, if you're on their property, everything belongs to the company. Visitors include salespeople, customers, and vendors. How do we track who's in and out? Where are they? Are they where they belong to be? Can they be things? Do we have a record of who came in? Surveillance cameras. These are some of the different things. Controlling the movement of packages. Also, do we have a clearinghouse that goes through all this to make sure it is safe? Let's see. Employee identification system. Use of badges. Worked at one company, and every department had their own door. And if you weren't in that department, you couldn't get in. So accounting, you had to be in accounting to get into accounting. If you're in IT, you had to have the IT badge. There's another way to close within the company, people moving around being where they shouldn't be. So there's no unauthorized employees wandering the halls. Everyone is known where they are. Everything is recorded, so people's movements can be identified and tracked. Automated access control. Industries associated traces the development of automated access control. Traditionally, access control has been at the center of electronic security, authentication, authorization. Are they say who they say they are, and what biometric? And we jump in. We have biometrics. Are they, something they have on them? Biometrics technology has been advanced from fingers to retina to whole hands. Facial recognition. Again, depending on the sensitivity of the equipment that we're going into, what is their, how much do we want to spend on this? And this is the same with the locks. For access control, how much do we want to spend? How much is the material? I know I watch in one of my other classes, we watch a Google data center, and just to get on the ground, you have to be on the approved list. You have to show your ID to get in the building. You have to show your ID and swipe in to get to the data center. You have to go through retina scan, show your ID. You go through metal detectors. So depending on how important it is what we try to do. Scan cards, and these are some of the different things. Obviously, locks and key systems are really good at preventing people from wandering around. Keep the building locked at all times to deter any unauthorized thing. Many see a lock as delaying the device that is valued by the amount of time it's needed to defeat. We talked about this last week with locks. Anything can be defeated. How much do we want to spend to make sure it's not defeated? And there's a whole bunch of standards that we can look at as we go through. Mechanical locks are easy, have a key. Intrusion detection systems, you can have lasers, floors, all different kinds of different things. We talked about locks and keys, tax and hardware. We spoke a lot about that last week. And again, all that holds true. We can use RFID cards to get in and out. People can break in using the padlocks. We've talked about the different kinds of locks. Like I said, we spent a lot of time last week just nothing but locks. Let's get to intrusion detection. Intrusion detection systems detect and report an event within the detection area. Response to resolve it must be thing. What type of sensors do we have? We'll cover this again in Chapter 9. Sensors, control limit units, actuators, interior sensors. Within the building itself, is there a switch, a door alarm, windows, opening and closing? So these are triggers that we need to make sure we have. Mechanical contacts, a door open. We can have pressure-sensitive mats. Someone steps on something, grid wires. A lot of this you'll find in server rooms to make sure no one's in there. Trip wires, spring-loaded. These are all the different kinds of sensors you can have within the building itself. Infrared, ultrasonic motion to make sure no one's in. Again, microwave motion. What are we trying to protect? What is the cost? Passive infrared sensors, passive audio sensors. There's two types of sensors often applied to location to reduce false alarms. The combination of microwave and passive intrusion sensors, popular examples of applying multiple sensors to the same location. Operating zone, where is the building protected as a segment of an alarm system? Alarm monitoring, who's doing the monitoring of it? And closed circuit television is one of the best ways to ensure that we have everything that we need. Let's get to security officers. Security officers play a role in countering internal losses. They must be integrated with technology, and it entails quality training, making sure that they know what they're doing and how to react when uninformed officers patrol on foot inside a facility through production, storage, shipping, receiving. They have to be unpredictable and irregular patrols, deter employees' theft, among other losses. A proper training officer looks at the deviations such as merchandise store or hidden in unusual places. Safes, protective containers, secure valuable items. Fire retentive, you want to make sure it is fireproof. They should be bolted down, hard to get to. Burglar resistant safes. Attacks, before a skilled burglar attacks a safe, he or she should study the method used to get in. Rip and peel, if it's not bolted down, someone can simply take it. Punch it, combination of breaking it with a hammer, chop it, drill it, torch it, carry it away. These are all different ways that people can get into it to make sure that it's theirs. They want the contents. Vaults, just a bigger safe, their whole room. And again, what is the method? Filing cabinets is another way that we can look at protecting it, right? They can have locks. We can put sensors on that. All right, let's look at Chapter 9. External threats. Again, what is an external threat? External loss production, right? Focuses on threats from outside the organizations. And we're going to look at countermeasures, how this can impede unauthorized access losses, burglars, assaults, robbery, vandals, arson, espionage. So we're going to look at all this, what happens when an outsider wants to attack. So let's take a look at this. Restricted area first. Methods of unauthorized entry. Put signs up. You don't belong here. Right? This is a simple method that a lot of times gets overlooked. Put signs up, forced entry are common. We want to look at some countermeasures. Deter. Right? We want fences around it, blockades. I love the picture, right, with the turrets to prevent someone from getting in. Do we forget how to do this? Protect it. Put walls. As I said, I worked at a phone company, a wireless company, our NOC system, Network Operating Center. We didn't even have signs on the building. No numbers, no signs, nothing. All we had was a fence, security cameras, lighting to protect it. We didn't want anyone to even know what it was, right? High-tech redundant security systems we're going to have. We wanted to detect Who's there? That's the whole purpose of the closed circuit TV. We can see who's there without going out to see them. Redundant securities, right? Delay. Make sure we get out there. Let's see, what else? Deny. Strong physical fence. Having a fence up. Simple. Having locked doors. Minimal entries. No windows. These are some of the things that we want to look at. Countermeasures. When the new facility is planned, they need to coordinate an effort. Architecture. What are we going to do, right? Years ago, buildings were designed, loss prevention features, or even a smaller part of it. Today, it's become a big part of it. The ventilation system should be small, so no one should be crawling through it. Architects take a bigger role in it. Environmental security, additional dense shrubbery to reduce. You don't want the shrubbery next to your building. Yes, it might be seen as pretty, but it also provides coverage. Barriers. Broken windows theory. The theory suggests that deteriorated buildings that remain in disrepair or disorder attract offenders. So we want to make sure that we protect against that, right? Perimeter security means our outer boundaries are often the property line. In the first defense of unauthorized thing, we should be able to see them. Put a fence up. Not difficult. What is our perimeter? What do we need to be in? Have cameras and sensors to ensure that we have the perimeter protected well. Signs. You don't belong here. Barriers. Again, natural barriers. Is there water running by? Think back at a picture of think of a castle. They had moats around them. That's a barrier. Back in the day, that's what it was. You put water to prevent people from getting in. Human barriers, security guards, cameras. You don't want to make people no one should ever be able to walk up to a building at any time without being detected, even to the front door. Anyone coming up to a secure building should know, the people inside should know that they're coming up. Limit the number of doors to have access to it that we want. Like I said, different kinds of buildings. Anti-climb fences, barbed wire, razor wire, vehicle barriers. Another really good thing. Protect barriers, vehicles, right? You don't want a vehicle to be able to drive up. Hedges and shrubbery are useful as barriers as long as they're away from it. Utility poles and tree boxes, ladders, common wall. These are some of the areas. How do we protect against terrorism as we look at it? A targeted rich environment when people and property are there. FEMA. Mitigation barriers of explosives and blast, standoff area. Again, you want to make sure the blast is anti-ramming walls. Again, you build barriers up to make sure that no one can get in. Windows protection, glazing, anneal glass, have special glass that people can't break, bulletproof. Again, these are all simple things. They cost money. How much do we want to spend? As we look at it, window protection is a big part of it. Do we have security, motion sensors? If someone breaks the glass, without opening it, will we know it? Window locks. These are all the aspects that we need to look at. Countermeasures, again, having the lock. Someone can break the window. We need to have sensors on our windows to make sure that the lock, if it's broken, we have keys. Even a simple stick right over here will prevent anyone from getting into it. Drilling, putting screws into it. Let's see, we want to get to doors. Again, what kind of door? Is it a steel door? Is it reinforced? Doors, we talked about the locking of doors, but doors themselves, is it a hollow core door? What do we want to look at? Again, what kind of hinges? Is it a pinned door? So when it's closed, there's actually pins so you can't break it forward, right? These are all the different kind of things. And it comes down to intrusion detection. What do we want to look at? It comes down to cost. Let's see, fiber optics. We can have making sure that everything is there. Applications, intrusion detection, point of protection, spot, so we could see what's going on, what kind of perimeters. Then we have all our systems in place. Alarm systems. Do we have a local alarm? Is it connected to the police? We want to make sure that it's there. Closed circuit TV. If anyone walks in, we know that it's protected. Doors. Everything should have the whole building should have some type of protection to make sure that it's covered. Closed circuit TV is a great way to go. Secures a good image. Make sure as we have it. And today this has become a lot cheaper. We talked about lighting, I think 2 weeks ago. A huge part of it. We talked about the illumination, lamps, lighting equipment. Do we have the right lighting as we look at it? Was this set up correctly? So lighting, again, becomes an important part to prevent external people from coming in. We're not going to spend tons on lighting because we spent the whole week on that already. Let's see, what else? Parking lots. Security officers, we talked about them. Monitoring offices. Contraband detection. So let's take a look at this. Contraband, illegal processes prohibit being brought into the building. Explosive weapons, they shouldn't come in. Metal detectors are a great way to do this. Protective dogs at night. You could put dogs out, guard dogs to make at least. Again, these are a way to deter criminals if they see something that they don't like. Communication, having that center that someone has a reference to. All right.